Hello, eighth grade. Today we're going to look at some equations where you're going to find variables on both sides of the equation, and we'll see how we go about continuing to isolate the variable to find its value. So here's our first example. So if you could copy this down, and feel free to pause the video at any time so that you can catch up. Okay. Now you'll notice that there are x terms on both sides of this equation. Now you can isolate this variable of x on either side of the equation, but what I'd like to do is find the easiest way to do it. And the easiest way is to find the side that's going to have a positive number of the unknown, a positive number of x's in this case. Since we have more on the left-hand side, I am going to remove it from the right-hand side. So if I want to remove this 2x from the right-hand side, I would need to subtract 2x, correct? So if we're going to subtract 2x from one side, we're going to subtract it from the other. And so now we have 2x's on the left-hand side and we have no x's on the right-hand side. So you see, because we had more on the left, that's where we want to take it to. We want them to remain on the left. Okay, so now we still have a positive 2 on the left and we have a positive 6 on the right. So now we just follow our normal process of addition and subtraction to get rid of that constant. So we have 2x on the left and 6 minus 2 on the right. We divide both sides by 2 to get a solution of x equals 2. And remember, I like you to either highlight or put a box around the solution. So take a look at this problem. Now you can see that we have more y's on the right-hand side. So we would want to remove them from the left-hand side. Now you don't have to do it this way. It's just that if you were to do it the other way, you would end up with a negative amount of x of that y value, and I'd rather have positives. So because we have 4 on the right and 2 on the left, we're going to subtract 2 y's from both sides of the equation. So the y's then on the left-hand side are 0 pair, and we have a negative 2 left because remember that minus sign goes with the 2. 4y minus 2y is 2y, and we have a positive 2. Okay, so now we need to subtract 2 from both sides of this equation. We're left with 2y on the right. Negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4. And now in order to isolate y, we divide both sides by 2. And so y is equal to negative 2. Okay, so here's an example. And if you read this out loud, you would say 4 times the quantity of p plus 1 is equal to 2 times the quantity of p minus 1. Now remember, in order to isolate the variable, we want to undo addition and subtraction and then multiplication and division. But in this case, where there's the distributive property, we need to take care of that distributive property first before we can start undoing. So we would multiply 4 times p to get 4p, and 4 times 1 is 4. And then on the right-hand side, 2 times p is 2p, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And so we've done that multiplication, and now we're ready to start undoing. And I'm going to subtract 2p from both sides because I want the p's to be on the left. And so we have 2p left plus a 4 is equal to negative 2. And now we're going to, oops, not do that. We're going to subtract 4 from both sides of the equation. And so we have 2p on the left is equal to negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. And then we can divide both sides by 2 to get p is equal to negative 3. So here is the assignment for you to work on. Make sure you show your steps and put a box or highlight your solution and then upload your work for me to see. Okay, good luck.